DNR owns a significant proportion of this tide land.
Only 30%, and I think here in South Sound is 10%. 90% is private.
They have virtually wiped out the intertidal life here completely.
Right, that's correct.
And that, it seems to me, they could be sued for.
That's why we're in court. We just don't want it spreading. I don't think the plastics, we're suing under the Clean Water Act on this. If we get what we want, it will affect every one of them out there. Our goal is to get the plastics out of the water. And the existing ones and stopping the new ones. We can't stop, these are all grandfathered. You can't stop aquaculture, but we want to turn it back to where they have to do sustainable aquaculture, like the oysters on a beach, you know, the
well,
clams.
actually, that employed more people too, because you were doing it by hand.
Right. I mean, that's what part of this argument is. It's all about new jobs. There aren't any jobs. They don't have to have many people to do geoduck. They had to have a lot of people to do oyster. But you see, they're not doing the oyster that way, using bags. So, Heather.
Janie and I are in a core group on Burley Lagoon, near, if you're unfamiliar with it, north of here, at Purdy, where you go over the bridge to go to 302 on the rest of the Key Peninsula, or north to Bremerton. That body of water is a very low flushing, shallow estuary. It's protected, critical area on all the state maps. We have herons, bald eagles, ospreys, 3 salmon runs a year. We've just had a major herring run in the last 2 weeks. The tidelands have been in private ownership for 100 years. Jerry Yamashita, who grew up in the industry with the Taylors and the Steels north of here, bought his share that he leased for a long time. As the people died off who owned the tidelands, he was allowed to purchase them outright. DNR then released a couple of parcels. So we're faced with the issue. Jerry is retiring at 89, but on his behalf, David Steele filed an application to establish a geoduck farm in addition to the regular clams and oysters. We got the notice of the application in July. Only those of us within 300 feet of the project got a copy of the application. There are probably 40 homes at least north of us who did not know anything about it. They do now. We have a major group meeting on Tuesday to discuss our next step. We're in a holding pattern, and it's in a 3-prong approach. There's the application to establish, to harvest geoducks that were allegedly hand-seeded in 2001, which would meet the bush callow requirement. If they had not cultivated geoducks before then, they couldn't come in. The second part is the rebuilding of the old oyster plant. They began pouring a concrete slab, adding riprap to the old bulkhead, putting up an illegal fence,